know one student that, you know, I wouldn't say you were up in arms about her, but she kind of, I think, creeped you out a little bit in some ways.
Wait a minute. Creep me out, and you're just right into something. Get ready, folks. Here it comes. Here's that story I promised. The Old News Show. I swear to God, this is true, so help me. We did the show called The Old News Show. Both these guys were connected to it. And we had 4 camera guys. Casey was one of them. Georgi, better known as Guy, was another one. There was Ben Youngbear, and the last name was Joe Baskowitz, who was shooting from what I call the balcony area because it was the highest point in the theater room. So that was the kind of setup. So what happened was we were shooting, and this was all live on the spot. We didn't really have anything to do. So we were off the cuff going quickly as we could, and the camera guy was shooting, and I guess it hit intermission, and they went and started necking in the back stairwell backstage. Well, I happened to be giving a tour, and I happened to find them, but they didn't see me. So we just kept going with the tour. So then we get to the end of the show, and it was a Q&A, and some wise guy said something. I called him out on it. And she's sitting on Joe's lap while he's shooting, and I catch her playing with his tripod. And I mean the one with the camera on it. So she goes and she realigns his shot. Again with the camera. and
oh, Lord.
And so she goes and realigns the shot. I catch this from the stage as I'm answering somebody's question. I said, Miss, would you mind not playing with his tripod during the show? Wait until the show's over and get a room. Now cut to the end of the academic year. So then we get to the point of she and I aren't getting along. We get to probably the last few days of the school year. And, we get to the point she's pissed as hell at me. She says, I know something you don't know. I said, oh yeah, what's that? She goes, I made out with Joe at your show and you didn't know about it.
Oh, yeah.
I said, I got news for you. I know something you don't know. She goes, what's that? I said, I knew that you and Joe made out at the show. I caught it on camera and it's going on TV.
People necking at the show, and even the stuff on campus too. Like, I won't mention her name, but he walked in on a certain somebody and
I'll mention it. I'll mention it. Here we go. Here's another one. You just got me on another one. Good job. Now, this one is humorous. Now, these guys have suffered through this probably 15 times, and this is going to be 26. There's a kegger, illegal kegger, at Haswell House, and I claim no knowledge of this inasmuch as I was asleep for the majority of it. So I woke up around 2 o'clock in the morning because I felt an earthquake. The front door banged. And my room was right next to the front door. So we know why there was an earthquake. So I was out in the middle of the earthquake. And I put on my pants to go out to the outside area to see what the hell was going on. Yes, I should have stayed asleep. I know.
No, I meant the pants part.
Yeah, I would have fit right in. I would have looked at the black guy, except white. Anyway, we're getting way too far off base. So,
all right, we're getting back to that night. You're without pants. Oh,
Yeah.
wait, no, you do have pants in this version.
yeah, so I put on pants. We went out to the. I went out to the kitchen. First off, when your floor sounds like, you know that there's an issue.
Who's doing the waxing?
The couple on the couch. That's So I'm in the kitchen, and as I'm walking through, as I say, the feet going across the floor. There's beer all over the place. Sticky situation, to say the least.
It gets stickier.
And how? I look to my left as I'm going through the room, and I see a couple, as I said, interracial, going at it pretty well. Guy has his hands down the girl's pants, they're kissing heavily and whatnot. I go through and I turn right into the living room. Bigger mistake. Now, it's dark in the living room, thank heavens, because I didn't get to see the guy's face right away. But this young lady, who was about under 5 feet, and took about 3 inches.
Oh, wow. Wow, that was a bad night.
For which one of them? So she was on the couch going at it. I see this to my right, and I turn and I see the guy's face. Now, mind you, the girl is spread eagle on the couch. The guy's going at it. You can see everything. Nothing's left to the imagination, except why the light isn't working. So I quickly make a scamper towards the exit and make it out alive. I run to the corner. I said, I'm going to go for a walk. I'll be back in 20 minutes to break this up if it doesn't break up, because this is ridiculous, the amount of noise that's going on. And mind you, I just want to backtrack. I said, the couple on the couch, not only was the guy, drunk off his ass, and she was drunk off her ass, going at it, but you know it's bad when the girl looks at her watch and goes, is that about it?
Are we finished here?
Yeah. So anyway, I come back 20 minutes later, I'm like, okay, this is done. And as I'm coming by the windows, I see this girl, giving the guy an oral examination. That's the euphemism for the week. And after he failed his oral examination, I go around to the front of the house. I get up to the front stairs, and you know what? The door is closed and locked in my face. Thank heavens I had my key. The interracial couple goes up the stairs as I let myself in. So I let myself in. I see the couple going upstairs. The girl ahead, the guy staggering. And the guy was walking straight. I don't understand why the girl wasn't walking straight. She hadn't done anything yet. So I turned the corner stupidly into the living room. And now I see this girl giving the guy a hand job. I see her, she doesn't see me. I go into the room, and I said to her, hey, how's it going? And she gets up, she goes, oh, hey! Hey, how are you? I said, fine, I shake hands with her, but I see you're busy. And so I go into my room. She, finishes up apparently and disappears. I come back out of my room. Now, I go into the kitchen and I see the interracial couple girl staggering around, barely clothed. She collects herself for the first time that night and comes over and we start shooting the shit. What we said is unimportant other than she'd had a shitty summer, I had a shitty summer. So we're in the middle of the conversation. She says, well, shit happens. What are you gonna do? And I said, I think you already did it. So she, yeah. By this point, the sunburned gentleman comes in the room and starts dragging her towards the front door to get rid of her. Somewhere along the line, she gets a phone call and goes, I got it. Okay, I'll get it. So she goes and she answers the phone and staggers over to the front door. Now, how she made it to the front door without falling, I'll never know. But she was up against the door, leaning quite heavily. And now, mind you, I just come through the door, it's unlocked. So I come to the door, it's unlocked, she's there. And oh boy, was this a beaut. She's there, leaning against the door. And she tries to open the door while she's leaning against it on the phone talking. Usually it doesn't work. So she goes over to me, again staggering, and the digits fall out. Not her hand, not her phone. And so she collects herself as she says, that door is locked in too many different ways. You gotta let me out of here. So I help her over to the wall so she has something to lean against as I go and open the door. And I go and I open the door because she couldn't figure out that it was unlocked and she was leaning against it. So I open the door, she comes by, says thank you very much, walks out the door. Now I hold the screen door for her as she walks out. The black dude grabs hold of the other door and is holding it so it doesn't bang against the wall. Now she walks by me down the stairs, stops, gets the idea to turn around, comes back up, walks right by me. The black guy's standing there, holding the door, as I said, behind me. And she turns to him and at the top of her lungs yells, "Fuck you!" in his face. And I'm standing there, dead quiet, not sure what to make of this at this point.
Damn.
So then she goes and she staggers off down the road. So she staggers off down the road towards China Express. And I'm standing there in true movies form. We both look out to our right, watching her go down the street, staggering. And we both have our mouths open, gaping. And I swear to God, it looked like a scene out of a freaking movie.